Hello, welcome to another video. This one's a bit of an update really. Regulars will know that I'm working on a demonstration game for a couple of shows revolving around the fighting in Hue in Vietnam during the Tet Offensive of 1968. So my announcement is that I've been in touch with Plastic Soldier Company and also Pierre's brand in relation to using the new NAM 68 rules. So to start off with, firstly, I'd like to thank Plastic Soldier Company, Warwick Kinrade, and obviously Pierre's, who organised it all to get us a copy of the rules before they're available, to just thank them very much. This video really is just going to be a short sort of look through the rules. My initial thoughts are that they're very, very good. I was very, very impressed when I looked at them. They're quite a sizable book. I think it's 140 plus pages, and it's a skirmish game, so you're activating troops individually and you're looking up to about a platoon for the engagement. As with the stuff that Warwick's done in the past, it's extremely well researched. The book itself is going to be very nice. They are at the moment doing a pre-order for a deluxe version, a hardback version. I'll obviously put a link to that in the description. That's available for, I think, 2 weeks from the 2nd of August to, I think it's the 16th. So when you've had a look at that, if you're all thinking about getting a copy of it, I've certainly pre-ordered a hardback copy of it. They're just nice to have. Being a bit of a rules junkie, hardback versions are always nice to have. So anyway, basically the rules, people who are into Vietnam wargaming have heard about them for a while. There's been stuff on Facebook. What I would say is on, I think it's a Plastic Soldier website, there's a really nice part one of a really nice introduction to the rules by the author, and Pierre's no doubt had something to do with it. It's basically a rundown of a game, telling you what's happening, and it goes into the rule systems. Part 2, I think, is coming out fairly soon. So if anyone is wanting to know more about the game, I'd really recommend that they have a look at that update on Facebook. It's really good. So the rules themselves, like all the Plastic Soldier stuff, particularly when Warwick and Pierce have had anything to do with it, there's a lot of background, lovely illustrations, as you'll see when we go down to the table and have a look at it. I'm really, really impressed. Once again, before we go down to it, I'd just really like to thank the company, Warwick and Pierce, for sorting this out for us. It'll work really well for the game, and I'm really looking forward to it. What I'll show you in the video now coming up is basically the basic rules. There's a whole campaign system which is basically following your platoon through a year's tour in Vietnam and getting different missions. There's a full campaign set up, how to build your platoon. It's been really, really well done. I'm very, very impressed with it. So without me blabbing further, we'll go down at the table and we'll have a quick flick through. Right, so NAM 68 Tour Duty. This is obviously, it's like the internal cover, if that makes sense. So it's the frontispiece. I've printed it out in black and white, the copy that I got. Obviously, the actual copy will be slightly different, so don't take this as the finished product. Cutting to the chase, nice description of the theory behind the rules. Definitely skirmish level, so you're looking at sort of squad to platoon level. Goes a little bit about what you need to play. There's the dice rolling conventions. The bit I really like, which I know Piers and Warwick are very keen on, this thing mentioned here, social gaming contract, and that you've the whole idea of wargaming is to obviously to enjoy it. And I've been to clubs, I'm sure that people have, where you get rules lawyers and it just degenerates into an awful evening. And this system works when people play it with goodwill. Very much narrative wargaming, so you can use the game as the sort of background and the narrative to your platoon going through a tour of duty. See from the quality of the photographs, that's one from Hue. Really nicely done. Not that I'm going to go into loads of details. Basically, the turn sequence, you're rolling command dice, and when you roll command dice, that allows you a number of activations. This varies depending on the game size, whether you've got 1 squad, 2 squad, or 3 squads. And this gives you options to activate your troops. Your troops activate individually, so a unit is a single figure. As a guy, you've got basic actions and advanced actions. Similar to sort of the battle group rules system, there's a bag of morale chits, and you're using those in the system to decide how many sort of actions you have. Massive amount on pinning, which is really, really good. Certainly in skirmish gaming, this is what it's all about, and troops can be pinned, and once they're pinned, the options are very much limited. Really like that whole idea. There's also a thing called, they use a term called hazards, and this basically is when the enemy activates in the US turn to sort of interrupt things. There's some really nice, one of the things I really like is there's a hazard called ammo check, which you can put on the opposition. For example, on a light machine gun team, they've got to do an ammo check to see if they run out of ammunition or they get like a jam or something like that. Really, really nicely done. Short section on movement. It's all fairly basic stuff on movement, nothing too complicated. Firing, again, really, really nice. What they've done there is they've got suppressing fire, which obviously is self-descriptive and targeted fire. Obviously suppressive fires to keep the enemy's heads down, targeted fires specifically trying to hit and injure people. The rules are very well laid out, lots of examples, very thoroughly researched. All of the weapon systems are there. A little bit about blast templates, how you do that. There's a lot involved with casualty evacuation, which is really good. The hazard actions separate sort of chapter on that, how they work. So the main one is obviously return fire. So that's when you interrupt. If you've been shot at, you can return fire. And as I mentioned, the ammo check thing, I was really taken with. Section on off-table support. All this is down to sort of the level of the engagement. So you've got sort of a level, low, medium, and high, and that's the sort of the tempo of the engagement, for want of a better term. That is reflected on how much opposition, so how many Viet Cong are on the table, and it also, that affects what support you've got, because obviously if you're looking at platoon level, you're not going to be calling in B-52 strikes or anything like that. So it's quite cleverly done. Great section on morale. So the morale of the figures are running from civilians through recruits, veterans, and elite, and then there's a morale rating in relation to what level, the experience level at, reluctant, stoic, fervent. Works really, really well. At the end, it's there are some, similar to Battle Group, there are some special counters in the morale thing, which I'll not go into, but they add quite a nice flavour to the game. So the basic rules are probably up to about page 43, and that's how to play the system. The other 100-odd pages of the book are in relation, which I haven't printed out here, are basically in relation to how to arrange your platoon. There's some really nice performers to print out to add your stats for your troops. It then goes into the opposition. That's done with a card system. Again, I won't go into too much detail because that's evident from the the things I mentioned at the beginning, the thing on Facebook where it gives you a brief background. I think I've got those printed out. I'll show you them so you can see what they're about. Obviously, the whole Tour of Duty campaign system tells you how to use that. The scenarios in there. It's just a really, really well thought out, really heavily supported game. Reading through it, so the stats you've got are for the Viet Cong, ranging from local force right up to main force. My view is that there will be further stuff coming out looking at it. I think that's fairly self-evident. Perhaps a supplement on the North Vietnamese army. You've obviously got things like Anzac forces. The system's wide open for lots and lots of support, and I'm sure it will be. I'm really stoked with the system. I think it's been really, really well done. It's obvious from looking at it. It's been quite a long time in it being written, and I know it's been play tested really quite heavily. So to cut to these are the quick reference sheets here that obviously come with the system. So this is the rules introduction, and it's got like an extended example of play. It's basically search and destroy patrol in the Mekong. This is available on Facebook. I will, in the description, I'll put a link to it. Much better than what I can describe. It gives you the whole sort of the way the system works. Really, really well done. And I'm really looking forward to getting the game sorted. So there we are. That was a very quick look at it. Really, really impressed. Warwick's done a cracking job, obviously ably supported by Plastic Soldier and peers. Once again, thanks very much, guys, for sending this over. I'm sure it'll sell very, very well. Certainly modern gamers, Vietnam gamers are going to want a copy of this. Really, really well done. Right, so that was an initial view. Really impressed with it, as you'll have gathered from my comments. So if you want to see how the game plays out, me and Alex will be putting a couple of demonstration games on this year. One's at the Border River show, which is on Saturday the 7th of September, so not that far, just 3 weeks away. That's at Gateshead International Stadium. Normal score, please come up. Always good to have a natter, have a look at it, see what you think. We're also putting the game on at Battleground, which is at Stockton, which is on Saturday the 23rd of November this year, so we'll be there as well. So any questions, obviously it's a normal sketch, please shout up. Any specific, very specific rule questions, I'd probably say you'd be better off going onto the Facebook page, because certainly Piers is always on there, and I've no doubt you'll get a lot of assistance with any queries. To round off, if this is at all your interest, if you're a Vietnam gamer, you basically need a copy of these rules. As I've said, I tend to like the hardback ones. If you go to the link, which is in the description, that takes you to the hardback. They're also, I'm pretty sure they're doing a print on demand thing. But there's information on the website. Have a look. Vietnam gaming, you definitely need a copy of these rules. So round off, thanks for all your support. Thanks very much indeed for watching. Another thank you to the folks at Plastic Soldier Company, Warwick and Piers, for sorting it out. Very, very much appreciated. Thanks, guys. And we'll see you next time.